I am Matt, and this is Andrea. We're reading The Happiness Project, and we're on chapter 10.
Today we're going to talk about paying attention. There are two things that caught my attention in this chapter. Number one are examine true rules, and the second one is to stimulate your mind. Now, when you think about true rules, you may think that they need to be true, but in fact, it's only true rules to you. So it's the things that you think every day, that you think they're true somehow, but they're not necessarily true. For instance, there is a rule that we say, like if you don't get what you want or a situation happens, you always say a door closes and a bigger one will open. It is not necessarily true, however, it brings you happiness because it brings you hope. So we want to talk about some of the true rules that we did have and how we thought whether they bring happiness or not. So true rules are things that we think every day and we implement in our lives.
Yeah, and sometimes they're always changing. And in thinking about what kind of rules, at least for me personally, we should have for ourselves, I kind of thought, is it more individual or is it for the family? And basically, we came up with a mix of both. So some of mine were to try and walk as much as I can now that we've been in a different situation as far as work goes. Even getting out the door and doing some laps around the block, even on a busy day, gives me time to clear my head and get a little fresh air. And I've been noticing even something as small as that can really improve my day. As well as, especially in these times, keeping in contact with friends and family, which I kind of always do, but having that as a rule, maybe something that we can revisit once in a while, like even if every day you could somehow take a moment to just look through your list. I think it's a good reminder because maybe you have those days when you are down and just going through that list and even just sending a text to someone, or if you have the time to do a call, that could make all the difference in having a bad day or having a good day.
Some of the other rules that you may have are something like time is money. I think that's a general rule. A lot of people use it. I'm not necessarily sure whether that is a good rule or a bad rule. I think it could potentially bring negative in your life because it could bring stress in your life if you only think that time is money. Basically, you don't think that time is to enjoy with others. So maybe changing the way you think about time may bring some happiness to you. So never give up. That's another one. So that is another one where we hear a lot. And yes, it's embracing, but at the same time, is that a rule that we always have to have? Not necessarily. Again, sometimes maybe we do need to give up. Maybe we need to give up a relationship. Maybe we need to give up a job that we have because it doesn't bring us happiness anymore. So that is what she's really looking for. She's trying to make you think what are the rules that are established in your life that bring happiness, that embrace the positive, and whatever does not, maybe change it. So change the way you say things, and then that may change. So that was one of the things that she asked us, is to pay attention to the rules that we live by. Maybe we're being too tough on ourselves, and that happens to me all the time. So learning to let go, it's very hard, but maybe that is one step. So the next one is she's trying to say, okay, so now that you know what the rules you live by, whether they're good or not, you examine them, you want to change them. okay, how do you train your mind to actually change them? Or keeping those in mind all the time. Because let's say I believe family is important, but sometimes I may forget. So maybe I need reminders, little things that will remind me, because I live a busy life and a lot of other stuff comes along. So she's saying, let's train our minds so that we can learn new things, stimulate our mind in a different way. So Chia said, okay, so what is one thing that we use all the time? Passwords. So Chia said, okay, in order for me to remind me of my goal, I'm going to change my password to my goal. So if you want to go to Disney, maybe your new password will be Disney. Things like that, little things. I mean, it's an easy thing, and I don't think many people would have thought of it. And I actually think it's very good, because then that keeps you focused and your goal every day. You're embracing the positive, right? So that is something good to do. And other ways to do it, in our belief, could be reading. I think reading stimulates your mind. Learning new things stimulate your mind. I think doing group activities, even embracing creativity or things like that. So are there other ways that you can think to stimulate your mind, Matthew?
Those are pretty much the ways that we talked about.
Yeah, so other thing is, a lot of people do meditation, and there is also positive phrases that a lot of people say to themselves. So I think that is another way to train your mind. Some other people were saying that they can record themselves in a positive manner and hear that tape or that voice memo every day, just to train your mind. And it's basically learning new behaviors. So this chapter is about paying attention to what works, and make sure you remember what works, and pay attention to what doesn't work, and make sure you replace that to something that does work. Thank you for watching us.
Thanks.